Please rise for silent invocation. And as we do, 4 days from now, we will be celebrating, I guess celebrating is the wrong word, we will be observing the memorial of 9/11. And a number of us in the city will be at a ceremony to commemorate those losses and remember those on Sunday at Halifax Hospice. And I'd invite anybody that's free and available to come on down there. It's at 8:30 in the morning, approximately the time of day the first airplane hit the first tower. And I would ask that right now as we gather that we keep those losses in our thoughts.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was funny last night.
We call the roll.
Here.
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 Here. Scott, that's a really nice shirt.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
I
not
got
Drew.
you.
You're wearing a nice shirt too.
They only made 2.
Yeah. Great
Only
golf
2
tournament.
in existence.
As we are here this evening, the public hearing is now convened. Am I ready? Yeah. This is entirely scripted. I got to admit, and even Tim Berman is wearing an excellent shirt, gentlemen.
Pretty close.
That's
His is just similar. Ours
that's
are
uncanny.
identical.
Yeah, that is totally, completely uncanny. Item 4 is discussion of the tentative city millage and tentative city budget for fiscal year 2023. The public hearing is now convened to discuss the millage rate and budget. The fiscal year 2023 budget commences on October 1st of this year and continues through September 30th of 2023. We will begin with the City of Port Orange City Council discussion of the tentative millage rate necessary to fund fiscal year 2023 tentative budget for the City of Port Orange. The City of Port Orange's taxing authority in the current year taxable value for operating purposes is $4,513,302,821. The rollback millage rate would be 4.4557 mills per 1,000 evaluation. The staff recommendation millage rate is 4.8610 mills for $1,000 evaluation, which represents a 9.1% increase in ad valorem taxes above the rollback rate. Would the city manager do me a favor and comment on the increase in millage over the rollback rate, and also, more importantly, the budget itself, what we're spending money on and the reasons for the increase in spending?
Yes, sir. The reasons for a millage increase over the rollback rate are to cover the increased cost of operations and maintenance of the general fund, requested capital outlay, and capital improvement projects. So that's your core reason. Some of the key drivers that we have in this year's budget, there are a number of critical projects. I think you'll see moving forward, the Town West Boulevard improvements are part of this year's budget. Ballfield light replacement, Jackson Street drainage, the city center improvements, which include the sidewalks, the shoreline stabilization, the improvements to irrigation in this area, and then there's approximately $16 million in water and sewer system upgrades also as part of this budget, in addition to the contractual obligations for our unions as well as other contracts that we have for services.
So we should pay our people, the people that serve our citizens, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Council, discussion regarding reasons, ask the council for discussion regarding reasons for the increase in the final millage rate and any comments that you'd like to make. Let's start at this end. Drew, any comments or questions?
Well, I mean, Wayne laid it out. We've been hashing this out, and the cost of doing business for the city and in our personal lives, everything's going up, and pretty much everything's costing more, and so that's the biggest driver, as he said, behind needing to increase the budget. If I'm not mistaken, I think the total budget of just over 161 million, I believe, is the largest one we've ever had, or one of the largest anyways. And so we're just to the point where things are costing more, and we've still got to provide a level of service that people expect, and it costs money to do that.
Scott?
Yeah, similar thoughts. I think, part of doing this is you got to fund the commitments you've already made. And as a council, we have made commitments last year and this year, and the funding of those commitments is coming from this. On top of those commitments, you've got a lot of things that are not within our control in terms of operational cost. No municipality is controlling the cost of fuel. That's just a good example. But a lot of other costs are going up. And then again, with that, you've got the voter mandates to increase minimum wage, which when that passed, I don't know that anybody thought that it would drive the goal of getting to $15 an hour across the board so much faster than the timeline set by the legislation and the voters approved. But that's exactly what happened. Is it almost triggered a race of private and government sector saying, well, we'll get there before that timeline, and that just created an entire process of competitive wage increases on top of inflation and a lot of other costs. So, I mean, it really comes down to this. Either as an elected body, we cut services, and we need to have that discussion tonight on what we want to cut, or we got to fund commitments in these increases to maintain the same level, because we don't have new positions in this. We don't have fancy new programs. This is cost of doing business at the same time trying to meet the commitments we've made as an elected body and the voter mandates and those other items I've talked. So, the other side with the other thing with the city of Port Orange, and I'm like everybody else, I guess. I look around and I see, what are the other cities doing and how are they doing it? And by and large, Port Orange is a bedroom residential based community. We have some businesses. These kind of things hit our business owners hard. But what we don't have is we don't have a tremendous base of industrial and big commercial development that drives a lot of additional revenue in, like it's done for the county in Daytona. And that's great for them, and that's fabulous. But we don't have that. Residential growth and development doesn't drive those kind of revenue changes that can help make significant reductions in your millage. We don't have a significant amount of intercoastal properties where you have higher tax bases. We don't have any of the beachside. So a lot of those things that we see in other communities like New Smyrna and Ormond Beach and Daytona Beach Shores and Ponce Inlet and so forth and so on, it's just different for us. We are who we are. Our borders are what they are. The design of our city is what it is. Our residents don't want to see a tremendous amount of industrial and commercial growth and development. They want to maintain the kind of residential mindset with high quality of life and a lot of services, and there's a cost for that. And while we're able to roll back the millage rate from what it was the previous year because of positive property value increases, there's no way that we can get back to a rollback and still generate the revenue that we need to honor those commitments and maintain these operational cost increases. So there's just not a lot of control there for an elected body on those impacts. They're significant, and I don't see how anybody could argue differently. We see it day in and day out in our personal lives, and the cities and the counties are not immune to that. We're not like the federal government where we can just print money. We got to pay as we go, and that's exactly what this is about. So I would love to be able to add some new positions that I think are needed for our city to even further some of the service levels we provide. But right now is just not going to be the time to do that. But at the same time, I think it's very important too that we continue to make steps in a positive direction to improve upon wage and benefits for our city employees and maintain competitiveness on that. And that seems like a ball that's ever moving. So we've got to keep working on that. Those are my thoughts.
That target always seems to be moving, but in a labor shortage even more so.
For sure.
Chase, what you got?
No comments on that, Mayor. I think we had some good spirited debates throughout this season, as
Yeah.
always. I'm good, thank you.
Reed?
My only comment I'm going to make now is that I think staff did a really good job this year. The whole process was really done well. Finance team, thorough. Wayne, I had several last minute questions and again came through, and just appreciate all the effort I know that went into this. It's not an easy process to put together a budget like this and to dial it in, but you guys did a great job this year, and appreciate all your hard work.
I always benchmark what we do against other cities and municipalities in Volusia County, and I did some research on my own as well about where we're at, and I hate having to push the needle at all, because to me it's always the balancing act of, well, we've got to provide the services that people expect, but those people got to pay for those, so that's a balancing act. I need them to be able to pay for what they need from us. If you're out of balance, then you have problems. Either you have a budget you can't manage, or you have a system where you're not providing what people need. One of the things that we do provide that costs us more than anything else in the general fund, 2/3 of it is public safety. And we are consistently ranked among the safest cities in the state of Florida. And you can start trimming around the edges. You can start cutting into that if you want to save $1 or $2 here. I want to be smart about budgeting when it comes to public safety. And I think you can be smart about budgeting in public safety without cutting willy-nilly. We have made a commitment to keeping the city a safe city, and when you start making minor cuts here, minor cuts there, what's the expression, death by 1,000 pinpricks? We cannot ever afford to go backwards with public safety. Because when you do, and we've seen plenty of examples of it around this country, when you start going backwards with public safety, you cannot get it back without a tremendous effort. And that tremendous effort doesn't always work. So our commitment that this council has made to public safety has been steadfast, and I'm going to stand behind that. It also comes with a cost. 2/3 of that cost in the city is personnel. We've got great people that work for us. They deserve to be compensated. But there again, we have to balance our ability to pay them with the people they work for, their ability to pay for those services. That is what constitutes a tremendous challenge for us up here, finding that balancing act. Our increase in millage rate, when I take a look at all of the municipalities in Volusia County, we're right in the middle. But we're not all equal. That increase actually comes along with one of the smallest total budget increases. The things that go into a total budget, a lot of people think, 9.1% increase in millage rate. You're increasing your budget 9.1%. No, we're not. Because that part of ad valorem tax is only about 1/3 of our budget. We have multiple other funding sources, so we're balanced differently. There are different challenges. So taking a look at all the budgets of all the cities throughout in the county, even though we're in the middle in the increase, we're among the lowest in budgets. The budget itself that it takes to take care of the city, we're near the bottom amongst all our peers. And to be that way, if we're going to increase the budget roughly 6%, when we've got only 3 cities of the 16 in the county and the school board and the like are lower numbers than us. And that is sound fiscal management in a time when we knew that we had to tighten our belt. We knew we needed to tighten our belt when we went into COVID. We did that. We put some things into place. We've done some things. I do fear that when we come out of this, that there'll be some things, maybe we tighten the belt a little too tight and there'll be costs later. We'll figure that out. But as for right now, I cannot complain when I see budgets that they're just different. We don't have a lot of growth, so we don't have a lot of additional revenue. There were people that had smaller increases in tax rate, but their budget percentage grew by much, much more because they had a lot of growth. We also have, and I think this is to our credit, we have the most homesteaded properties of any city in Volusia County. We also have the highest percentage of homesteaded properties in Volusia County. And you know what that tells me? A lot of people want to live here for the right reason, and we owe it to them to make sure that we continue to provide the quality of services that they want. And I'm going to stop pontificating for a moment so that I can ask the public if anyone here would like to comment. Well, with that, council will now review the tentative budget and discuss revisions, if any. The budget includes all operating and capital costs for fiscal year 2023. The budget includes the general special revenue, debt service, capital, enterprise, and internal service funds. And the proposed citywide fiscal year 2023 budgets for all funds is $161,305,469. Council, any other comments or revisions before we move on?
For me.
Being none, item 5 is Resolution 22-25. Resolution 22-25 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, adopting the tentative ad valorem property tax millage rates to be levied for fiscal year 2023, which is October 1st, 2022 to September 30th of 2023, and providing for Scrivener's errors and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve resolution number 22-25, tentative millage for the city.
Can you read the whole motion there?
Move to approve resolution number 22-25, adopting the City of Port Orange fiscal year 2023 tentative millage rate of 4.8610 mils per 1,000 valuation.
I'll second.
We have a motion, proper second. Council comments? There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, final comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
No.
Councilmember Tremont,
No.
Councilmember Bastian,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stiltner.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes. The adopted millage rate of 4.8610 mils per 1,000 evaluation is 9.1% increase in ad valorem tax above the rollback rate.
Can you read, I hate to be a stickler, but can you read to the second decimal point on that, please? 9.10.
The adopted tentative millage rate of 4.8610 mils per $1,000 evaluations is a 9.10% increase in ad valorem taxes revenues above the rollback rate, which is mathematically equivalent to what I already read. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Item 6 is resolution number 22-26, adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2022-23.
Motion to approve resolution.
Hold on a second. The resolution of the City Council of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2023, October 1st, 2022 to September 30th of 2023 for the City of Port Orange, providing for appropriation and procedures, providing for Scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve resolution number 22-26, adopting the City of Port Orange fiscal year 2023 tentative budget.
I'll second.
We have a motion, proper second. Council comments on the budget as presented. There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us. Final comments? There being none, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
No.
Councilmember Tremont.
No.
Councilmember Bastian,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stiltner.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 3-2. Gentlemen, we have a budget. In addition to the foregoing tentative budget millage levy, there is a voter-approved millage levy of 0.2100 mils necessary to fund the debt service payment of the 2006 general obligation bonds for public safety capital facilities, which were refunded in 2016. A public hearing will be held on September 21st, 2022 at 5:30 p.m., 2 weeks from today, here, right here in the City Council chambers at City Hall, which is our address, 1000 City Center Circle, Port Orange, Florida, and we will discuss and adopt a final millage rate and the final budget for the fiscal year 2023 for the City of Port Orange. Advertisement will be published pursuant to Florida statutes. Any other business come before us this evening? If not, I will see you all in 13 days.